Okay, friends, now I received a lot of comments about colleagues that most of them they have not learned yet how to score. So, but in different workshop, because this is knowledge, so we can share it freely. There are times there will be time when I can't share it. Maybe when I'm in 90s there, but we never know. But these are things we have to share with colleagues so that because it's a new curriculum, many people is still not so clear to many. So I've been like 4 workshops about scoring, so around June 2024 there. So I went in many workshops. So I tried now to summarize what I understood from those workshops I attended. So I think, let me start with the codes. I think these ones people know, the codes. Theme item 1, the theme is numbers. These are the codes we identify, which is I, manipulation, M1, application, AP1. I will come to this subscript later. Then the item 2 for patterns, this is formation. You see that here we have M2, AP2, application. These are the... Why do we have this one? Shows that we are scoring for manipulation, but in item 1 or element 1. This is application in element 1. So here you see that we are manipulating but in the element 2. That's why you're having M subscript 2. Then here a student is applying, but in element 2. When we come to item 3 and 4, the theme is data and probability. Data and probability, the codes we use, presentation, then we analyze, which is A3. Then we have interpretation. So whenever I said we don't have a subscript, that means that code is just used in that specific item. Specifically, you're not going to find it in any other item. Like you see here, I is not having any subscript, so meaning we only identify in item 1. So even here is that we have an interpretation, but it's IN without subscript, meaning that we are just applying it there. Now here, when I come here in item 5 and 6, the theme is geometry and measures. You see the code is analysis, but because we saw that already in item 3, so remember the student is doing 4 items. So the first, the second is going to pick the third from either 3 and 4, and the fourth from either 5 and 6. So that's why it's that the analysis for the 4th item the student has attempted. Then manipulation 4, still for the 4th item, manipulation, then AP4, like that. Then we have in that workshop I started about the 3/4 rule. So here I'm just going to use any random example like you see here I'm using. So the 3/4 rule is like this. Maybe assuming that we are in item 1, maybe we have done our grid, but now this is our score grid. Maybe this is the grid that the teacher has done. So he has identified that there are 12 identification scores like we saw here. Then manipulation, there are 9. Then application, maybe there are 5. So assuming that this is what you have on the grid, but after marking, your student is scoring this. Now, how do we score them? Now, the 3/4 rule works like this. So I'm going to remove this for simple calculations so that people can follow properly. So how do we do the 3/4 rule here? I want you to be a bit careful, because sometimes it's like it's confusing. Okay, so let me start with identification. So now if I'm on just identification, how do we handle? Is that identification I have 12. So in identification there are 12. Now the 3/4 rule, I will say you first multiply 3/4 times the total, and this will give you, this will be 3, this will be 9. Now this one now becomes the lower bound, so meaning from 9 to 12. So this will now, the highest score, assume that my highest score is 3, so I will say now someone is going to score 3 if he has 9 to 12 identifications. So then to know now the lowest, because we have the levels like 3, 2, 1, and then 0. Someone who scores 0, he has, meaning that in all the things he has not scored, has not identified anything. So now we first calculate always the upper and then the lower. So now to calculate now the lower of this, I'm going to say now a quarter now times 12, which will give me a 3. So meaning someone now for the lower, this becomes the upper bound up to the first. So this will be now 3 the upper, from 1 to 3 because we have already 0, so it will be 1 to 3. Now this one in the middle, you see, the score 1 is from 1 to 3, meaning for someone to be here and score 2 will be from 4 to, maybe it's that here, this one starts at 9, so that will be 2, 8. So that's how we feel that one. Then I come to, this is identification, then I come to now manipulation. We had 9, still we start with the upper, 3 over 4 times 9. So there I will get, so here I get, is that I get 6.75. But now we round off to the next whole number. The next whole number will be 7. So meaning now I'll take, now the 7 will be the lower, 2, 9. So here now the highest is 7 to 9. Then I come to the lower, which will be a quarter times 9. This one is something like, I think 2.25. Now I take the next whole number, which will be 3. So meaning 3 will be the highest now on score 1. So I'll be now 2.25. I take the next, which is 3. So this will be now 3, 1. Then it's that from 1 to 3. Here we are missing only 4, 2, 6. Then I come to the application. So remember our application 1, there were 5. So the 3/4 over 5, this will be 15 divided by 4, which is 3.75. You take the next whole number, which is 4. So I mean this is going to be the 4. So here we're going to be having 4 to 5. Then I come to the lower, so I calculate a quarter of this. So a quarter of 5, which will be 1.25. So now I take the next whole number, which will be 2. So here now I'll be having 2. So I'll say from 1 to 2. Remember, the 0 is already there. So after 0, you go to 1. So now it's that I have this. So how do I determine the next one? Here, I will say now I have 1 to 2. So the next will be 3. I want to go because the 4 is already there. So here I just put 4. So that's how we get the range of how we are going to identify just using this system. I used the figures where we are going to get all numbers, where we are going to get points, and then where we are going to have only one figure in the middle. So I took time to calculate them so that I give you at least any case that can arise from there. Now, this was our score grid. This is the total someone can get from, if he is a bright student, he can get 12, 9, and 10. And so and 5. Remember in the horticulture we had the method 1, the bonus, then also the accuracy. Those were the codes earlier, but now our codes are IM1. So the codes are changing depending on the item the student is handling. Now, assuming that the student we have marked a student on item 1 where we have these codes and they have scored this. Now the maximum you can get, if someone, this is the maximum here, if someone gets here, it will be 3. The maximum you can get is 9. The lowest you can get is 0. So the maximum the bright students are going to get 9. So if these are our scores, now I come. So my learner here is having 10. Where is he falling in identification? 10. So that in identification, if someone has 10, it would be having 9 to 12. The score there is what? Is 3. Then I come to someone who's in manipulation. This kid had 5. So I come in manipulation. Where do we have a 5? Which range is here? 4 to 6. So it's having 2. Then in the application is having 4. Where is 4 falling? 4 is falling here. Where the score is what? Where the score is 3. 4 to 5. The score is 3. So you have there 3. So meaning this student is having, this is 3, this is 5, this is 8. So he's having 8 over 9. So this is what he has. I don't know, but I think, remember they told us that an exam will be out of 8. That's what we had. So maybe they will say now this times 8. So now you get 8 over 9 times now the 80, because you know we give activities of integration and also projects, which the projects and then the activity of integration, they take 20. So meaning the balance will be 80. So that's why I'm multiplying by the 80. So 9 divided by times 80. So meaning the student is having 71 over 80. If you want now, you can also convert to a percentage. If you want now to convert it to a percentage, you can just say 8 over 9 times 100. You see the percentage. But because of the idea that activities of integration and project work, they take 20, the balance is 80. That's why I've been able to calculate it to 80. So that's it, members. Now let us try to see if we can see these in details. Maybe I can use last year's paper, 2024, so that I can see how we can score identification, manipulations, because we saw there's that paper that they saturated that has scoring criteria. How does someone score M1 in those cases? So I think let me use last year's paper so that I try. I don't know how really they scored it, but I'm going to try basing on what they gave us on the scoring criteria. It was a common doc that saturated, so that's what I also used. Then I tried to figure it out how you can score it. So that's it. At least this one, the more you practice, the more you understand how to reach to this table here. That's it, members. Let us go to scoring, real scoring.